Ashley, I'm so excited because the other day you were talking about a Spanish curriculum that you use in your homeschool called Charlotte Mason Simple Spanish, right? And
Yes.
I have been looking for something perfect. I have been looking for something to implement in our homeschool, but most things didn't fit what I'm looking for in them. But as I was flipping through this one and their free sample, because I just have the free sample right now
Okay.
because it's so hard to commit financially to something until you're
Yeah.
sure that it's going to work. So I appreciate that they do that. I have three things though that I thought, yes, this is the right curriculum for me. So I was hoping that you could verify those things for me and then also share how you use it in your homeschool and how it's been going for you. Does that sound good?
Yes. Sounds great.
Cool. Okay, so the first thing that I really needed in a curriculum was something that could be short lessons and flexible. Because this year we are actually doing, on Thursdays, we're actually going to be doing like a Spanish co op. The moms are going to get together and have our mom time. And then the kids,
Great.
we have a mom in our area that speaks Spanish. She's from Mexico, and she's going to do like an hour class with the kids just speaking in Spanish to them. I'm
Mm-hmm.
so excited about this, but that means that I don't want to do Spanish at home on Thursdays.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I do like because I'm not a native speaker, I need help with those things. And so I was looking for that in here and they have this wonderful flexible schedule that's kind of
Mm-hmm.
posted too where you could even
Yeah.
have just do it like 3 to 4 days. Am I correct in that?
Yes. Very, very correct. Some people, for the people who really like a very detailed and structured curriculum where it's like, do this on this day, do this on this day, do this on that day, that's not really what you're going to get with Simple Spanish, because she did make it kind of flexible and she wants it to be a part of your family life and not necessarily just like another subject that you do. So she does have a schedule for people who like schedules like that. She does have a schedule recommendation, day one, do this, day two, do this. But again, she says, go with your flow, go with your family and what your family is able to do. Just like you said, if you can't do it on a Thursday, but you've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday open, plan some time in your day to do it on those days. And there's just bits and pieces that flow together that you can move around to any time of the day. So one little tip for that, can I jump into that? One little tip for that I was thinking of is some of the best ways to do this is either do it like morning time. Like, do you have a morning time, Abby? Do you?
We do. We have our family subjects at one time
Family
in the morning.
subjects time. Okay. I'm like, some people call it other things, but yeah. So during family subject time is when you could totally put do a lesson, part of the lesson there. Another time to do it would be like at lunchtime, like a perfect time when everybody's making their sandwiches or whatever. You're sitting around the table. You turn on the songs or the videos or the audios, and there's my dog now. All right. You turn on those things and then they just listen and you can do it in the afternoon time. Those are my like two biggest tips on when do I do this, because I know it's a huge question.
How long do those take you?
Oh, it can be super short.
Like 5 to 10 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, and you can make it longer. So here's I'm going to go into she has two options where there's formal lessons and informal lessons.
Okay.
So and she talks about this in her intro when you get the sample like you have, Abby, or when you
Yep.
order your unit, she has a whole explanation. I recommend not skipping that, because it's as if you're sitting down with Sarah and she's explaining, hey guys, this is how you use this curriculum and this is why. And so I think it's really important to read that so that you can understand the basics behind it, and you're not just floundering like, oh, this curriculum doesn't work because what do I do?
Yep.
Like she explains it to you in the explanation. So I'm going to give you a snippet of it because she says that the informal lessons is what she highly recommends, and that's when you play your poem and everybody listens to it. How long is that going to take, Abby? 5 minutes, 3 minutes. You play the poem, you listen to it once, maybe twice. And there are going to be times you feel like you're not doing enough. You're like, okay, that took us 5 minutes. Let's do another one, and you just keep going. But I tried that one time and I was just like, the kids just got like, what are we, I don't, they're like, what are
Hmm.
we doing? So when you just do the 3 to 5 minutes in all throughout the day, then you're doing it right. It's going to feel weird, but it's informal for a reason. Cause she said what children did in Charlotte Mason's times, because she's a Charlotte Mason based curriculum, what in Charlotte Mason time, they would get a nanny who would speak only in the target language. So
Yeah.
like what you guys are doing on Thursdays, you're getting your target language though, just for one at like a fire hose of it for like
Yeah.
one on a Thursday. Um, but what she recommends is the kids just hearing it all throughout the day, hace uno platos, this plato es muy pequeño, you're just talking about it whenever, or you sing the witsy witsy araña. I can't remember the rest of it.
Yeah, that will, okay,
You know
so
what I
that's,
mean?
I'm pretty
It
sure
was
I have that as one of the points that I love too, is that it's not a list of words that we are going through and then we're going to forget them, because I took 4 years of Spanish, like 3 in high school and 1 in college. I know
okay.
nothing but Barney saying I love you in Spanish, and I know that song really well, right? And so like by having it in these poems or stories, like there's even books that you will be reading,
Yeah.
or not you reading, but like she provides the audio for her, who she is a native speaker too, so they can hear it done correctly, right? And so I think that there's so much value in that, and that I was looking for, because it takes all of my self-consciousness, my like inability out of it. It's like outsourcing a subject, but we're still learning together. And that's so much what I'm about, right? Like I love family style learning. I love learning together and right along and creating family cultures. And I feel like this curriculum is really going to provide that for us.
Oh, that's so true. I love family style as well, and anything we can do together, I think, is great. But I love the books. That's it. That's a good point you brought that up, because you're not going to be able. You said you don't remember your Spanish as much. You're not going to be able to pull that book up and start reading it.
So are these books automatically part of this, or do I have to go buy the books separate? What are the books? I don't know what they are.
Yes, I love using the books. And these books, I normally get my books from the library, like just my general books that I use for my family.
Mm-hmm.
I found it difficult to find these books.
Okay.
So there was an audio recording of the book, and I did look on YouTube. Sometimes you could find someone doing a read aloud on
Yeah.
YouTube, so you could see the book. I did realize having the actual book in front of you was probably the most beneficial. But if you're trying to still make it affordable, it's not required to have the books, but it's highly recommended, I would say.
And can you find them on
Um,
like Amazon or something then?
yes, most of them you can. And I did just see from Sarah, the creator of this, that there's a note that not all the books are available now. So she has an extra list for some like replacement books.
Okay.
So we listen to the audios of their songs and books and poems. And then like just phrases that you're learning, buenos dias, hola mami, just little phrases. But I did study Spanish as well, about the same amount as you did. And I try to use it when I speak to people out in the community. But I've been listening to my son pronounce things when he says it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, your accent is 100 times better than mine.
So
Like
good.
when he says it, it's because he listened to those audios and heard the native speaker speaking it. And I didn't have to, I know a little bit of Spanish, but again, yeah, my pronunciation's like, I'm a white gal from Colorado. So
Uh-huh. Number 3 is how affordable this curriculum is, because I was looking at some at a lot of Spanish options, and there's a lot of really cool subscription options too, where they
Mhm.
are helping you in like everyday life, and there are like videos you can watch and audios to listen to, but they can cost $50 a month, right? Between $30 to $50
Or
a
more.
month. And
Or,
this one, I forgot to double check it, but I think it is like $50 to $70 for the year. That is so affordable, right?
yes, yes, that's what I thought as well. Especially it's like paying a tutor, but you're only paying that one fee. You're not paying monthly until you get to the next year. I know you can do the year subscription, or you can do unit by unit. I know
Okay.
that. Um, So you can do a unit by unit. And I do recommend, you're going to get the better deal if you purchase the year.
Yeah.
But if you really aren't sure if this is going to work, like you were saying, Abby, you don't know if it works until you try it. You can go unit by unit until you're like, okay, after unit 2, unit 3, okay, it's working. Or you use the sample and then you do unit 2. You're like, okay, this is doing okay. And then you can jump into purchasing the year. So I do recommend trying that as well. Now, here's where it can get costly. And I've had people have watched my reviews on this, and they say the printing is where it kind of gets you. So when you purchase the product and then you have it and you have to print it each month, the printing itself can get pricey. So if you have your own printing capabilities at home, I highly recommend that. And then the cost of it is going to go down even further because you'll be able to print it yourself.
I have an awesome printer. I'll link it below, but I never hesitate to print anything because it just doesn't seem like it uses much ink. And I print all of my own things, but you have an affiliate through a printing company that you really like, right?
Yes, I did like Family Nest Printing. They did a great job. I added the binding and like a cover here, or the cover, but if you needed to, you could send it away for printing. But what I want to recommend, if it's not within your budget or your means, like you don't have your own printing or you can't afford to get it printed, I actually don't print every unit, and I've used it just on the computer.
Oh, okay.
So it looks better when you print it, and then you can have the kids touch it and point to it. But all these links, you can still do them digitally. You just pull this page up on your computer.
Okay.
And then you scan it with your phone or another device, and then brings up the video or the audio, and then boom, you're good to go. So it's not required that you print these items. The one thing though is they are beautiful. They're very pretty. Like I love the colors. I love the pictures. Like these here, there are things I would print that I would recommend. Is it's like this here. So if you look at this, there's that page, and then there's that page. These are supposed to go on the back of this.
Yeah, yep.
So they're supposed to be like cards.
Or like this one here is you flip it, you fold it in half, and then you can laminate it on both sides, or just use like a thicker cardstock she recommended for that too.
So I think we actually made the mistake of actually binding it, Abby. I think you're not supposed to bind it technically. There's a teacher's explanation and schedule and stuff like that you can bind possibly, but the actual cards, like these are cards too. You're supposed to cut them out and have them like, yeah, here's this one too. Oh, this one's a cute bookmark. Look how cute that is.
That is cute.
I love it. So you cut it out, fold it over, and then laminate it. And I never did that. So,
I love that though. That is so fun. Okay, so you talked about the poems. So that, like you saying the Itsy Bitsy Spider, that's actually in the one that I have printed off. It's like the first thing that they're going to learn, right? So they're learning it in context, not a list of words. They're learning things like the way that we speak, right? And she talks about this in the beginning too. When we learn to speak English, we aren't given a list of words and pointing to and learning to read them. Our parents are just talking to us and we're hearing it. And so I love that she's using poems, books, there's Bible verses. This is a Christian curriculum, right?
Yeah, right, yes.
And then what else is there? There's some other things too.
Okay, so there's like you're talking about speaking together, there's a replacement phrase. So the one on my unit here says, instead of when your kids wake up in the morning, instead of saying, "Hi, mommy, good morning, how are you?" they're supposed to say, "Hola, mami, buenos días, como amaneciste?" There we go. Amaneciste? That's it.
Gotta listen to that QR code.
Yeah, listen to that. That's my pronunciation, but it could be wrong. So you're going to replace it. And that there's just a phrase that you use in everyday language, and you start using it, and you can set a goal for your family. I got this tip from my friend Liz, and she says every time your kids use a Spanish phrase or word instead of the English phrase, they get to drop a marble into the jar. When the jar is full, then we receive our reward. So what my friend Liz did, isn't that cool?
That is so cool.
Fun, yeah. So what my friend Liz's reward was, they got to go to a local Mexican bakery and get some Mexican donuts, and like not just go get a Mexican meal, but like go to get like a treat, some kind of treat and something different. So, but whatever treat your family would like you
Yeah.
could do. But we've been working on this in the last year, I think. So we're a little bit behind.
So
We
maybe I
just,
should get one of the little mason jars to start
yeah.
off.
Yeah, I would suggest a smaller jar. And we have these are big things from the dollar store. So
Sure.
like these, you could use, I don't know, whatever, marbles. Oh, there's a coin in here too.
Oh.
Okay. Oh yeah. So also, okay, this, we didn't, when we got our Spanish class in high school and college, we didn't get the poetry, we didn't get the songs, which I think the songs are my favorite. I learned so much good language from songs, and I know our kids are wired that way to hear that. So when they hear those songs, and the songs, you don't even have to like stop everything and say, okay, everybody stop. We're going to listen to the Spanish song. Like, you don't have to do that during your day. You can just play it while everybody's cleaning up, or you can just play it at lunchtime or in the car. You can play it just anytime. Just play the song and they hear it. Eventually, you'll hear your kids singing along, Witsy, Witsy, Alanya. They'll just start singing eventually. So I do love the songs. But the other thing is, like when we learned verbs, Abby, we had to memorize those words,
Yep.
like saltar is to jump. And then you had to conjugate it. I salto, you saltas, or whatever.
Yep.
Okay. And that was, very difficult in high
Very
school.
difficult.
But she has something that is Charlotte Mason style in learning language. It's called the guine series. And you're going to get verbs that you're going to learn. And she gives you a phrase that you repeat. So the first time you listen to the audio, you just listen to it. Every time that happens, you just listen. But then after that, they can add actions to it, and then they can start saying it and repeating it, what they hear. So, for example, in my unit here, the English is, I grab my little boat, and then the kids in the Spanish would say, agarro mi barquito. So there's several other words in there, but you're focusing on the grab. So even though like they're learning the word for boat,
you're learning it in context.
Yes, exactly. And these are phrases that would be very close to what a kid would use in a conversation or in books that they hear or whatever. So I grab my little boat. I put my little boat in the water. Pongo. So I grab my little boat. Pongo mi barquito en el agua. I blow on my little boat. Then you have them blow. Le soplo. Le soplo. Sorry, just listen to the audio. You got it. And then I pull the thread of my little boat. So I love that because it's in context, just like you said. It's in context and it's very simple, and the kids aren't overwhelmed with just too much at once. And it's something they can start applying immediately.
That is so cool. I really appreciate that. Last year I did some like Charlotte Mason workouts things, and it was a lot of these like finger plays and little actions that we did. It was so much fun. So even just hearing you talk about that, like having the kids do the action along with what they're saying, like there can be a lot of fun and family culture that's built in that, and that'll give so many good memories rather than just filling out another worksheet and trying to check things off and let's do this and then move on. Like this is something, or they're even like you're saying, like playing these in the car. It doesn't even have to be like they're so short that no matter where you're going, you could get it started and pretty much have it done when you're there, right? So
yes,
I think that is really appealing because that's something last year I struggled with, was just introducing all these new family habits. We talked about this in Homeschool Mom Fails and Made to Homeschool when we were doing a meetup together. Just like the things that we kind of struggle with, and that's like fitting in everything that we need to do. And sometimes there's something that has to be set aside. And so last year for me, that was Spanish. We started it just wasn't picking up naturally, and we had to set it aside. So this year again, we're trying to reintroduce that and hopefully get this to go. But I see how this one can work wherever we are. I don't have to be in one specific spot with our specific materials. Like it's there. Like I like that download option. It's beautiful to have it in your hands and to make these flashcards or things out of it too. But I like that idea of being able to really use it in multiple ways. Ashley, I think I remember also that there is like a psalm or a piece of the Bible that you're supposed to be listening to along with this. Is that right?
Yes, yes. So they do have their memory verse, which is just like one short verse in Spanish, but there's also a whole entire psalm that you can listen to, which you don't even have to listen to the recording. You can listen to the Bible app and then download the Spanish version of the Bible, and then you can just pull up the psalm and listen to that. So
Okay, and so then these are done by unit that you're going, but if I remember correctly, she said don't worry about the length of time that it takes you to do a unit, right?
correct. Yes, yes. And I get that question a lot as well. They're like, how long should a unit take? She says it depends on your family. If your family has Spanish or language exposure already, then it's going to go faster. If you don't, if you have zero, it might take you a month. So she recommends anywhere from, it could be a week if you want to go through it that quickly, to 3 to 5 weeks, maybe 6 weeks. I feel like once you get past that, it's probably plenty of time and you're ready for something new.
Yeah.
But yes, so I found for our family personally, 3 weeks was kind of a good
Okay.
um, pace for us. After 3 weeks, they're kind of like, okay, let's do something else, and
And
then you
this
can
is for
go
the
back
family,
into
so it doesn't matter the age. It says like ages 0 to 8 in it, but I'm going to be learning right along with the kids too. So I
it.
love that it has that availability with it. You're not looking for like which one is at my kid's level. You're just starting at year one and going up.
Yes, yes. You don't have to buy something different for each kid. You don't have to buy a different workbook for each kid. You just use the one thing, and I loved that as well, and that's why I picked this as well. So, Abby, the we've been talking about the Spanish that Simple Languages has to offer, but there are other languages. So, she
Cool.
started out with Spanish because that's her native speaking, but then she brought on other people. So, if you wanted to do German or French, I think are some of the other options that are available for the other languages.
Ashley, thank you so much for sharing these things with us. If you guys are interested in it, all of the links are down below. Ashley's affiliate link, so please click through that, as well as like the printer that she uses, or the printer that I use, and the people she uses for printing. You'll find all of those links below. If you are interested in seeing kind of what we were talking about with Homeschool Mom Fails, Ashley and I did a meetup in the Made to Homeschool community with lots of moms talking about the things that we struggle with in our homeschools. And I kind of do a little recap of that here in this video, so you can click on it next to check that out. Join us at Made to Homeschool by clicking through the link in the description box, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.